Summerside native Paul Perry, who with his wife Patricia have written quite a brag to rich a story with this horse. A $900 purchase. He has won over $90,000 now. A story that was carried as a hoof beats feature. From the Meadowlands and Foxborough, sporting a record of 156-4, Clarky Smith parades #1 debut. Our next horse, well, his name implies that he is the pride of song, but he is indeed the pride of ball of Prince Edward Island. And he's the big card favorite of many maritime fans. Our horse of the year last year, a wonder horse this year, a 2-minute winner at Charlottetown, a 2-minute winner at Truro, the pride of Don Smith of Charlottetown, and here is Joey Smallwood parading #2, Saul's Pride. From a wonder horse, we go now to our own Stevie Wonder with an APR regular, our winner, the winner of Charlottetown's prestigious Gold Cup and Saucer in 2 minutes and 3/5. For the Osprey Farms of Fredericton, Gerald Coulard of Knockaway, here's Stevie Wonder, Steve Mahar with #3, Henry Butler. Dr. James Marshall of Washington, D.C., and his trainer driver, Wendy Dunaway, are back with us now for the 3rd year in a row. They and their horse hold our cup record 2 minutes and 4/5. All season long this year, they've been in the top class at Foxborough. He's better than ever, now sporting a new record of 157-3, winner of Provincial Cup 2. Here's Wendy Dunaway with KC3. Norman Jones makes his first visit to the Maritimes, but he has been around. A familiar figure at Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa. He has, a couple of years ago, been Canada's representative in the rich and prestigious Roosevelt International Trot. This year, he's been racing his horse against seasons champions in North America. He's won in 157-4. Twice he's been race timed at 157. For himself and his partner, Dan Gibson of Kingston, Ontario, Norman Jones parades now #5, Highland Drummer. Our next entry is no stranger to local fans. We saw him here last year. He was the Maritime champion last year at 201-4. This year, our Alexander Memorial winner in 201-1. He now sports a new record of 2 minutes and 4/5, taken in winning Fredericton's Walterdale Memorial. For the Moncton sportsman Romeo Boucher, EPR's leading dash winner Wally Hennessy, with his dad Joe looking on, parades #6, Headed Play. And we welcome back now, once again, a native son of St. John, who has climbed fantastically in the world of harness racing. He has climbed to the top as a trainer driver in the U.S. Last year, he won our Provincial Cup with Vesta Baron. This year, he comes back with a horse even faster. A horse that won 156-4 at the Meadowlands. Last week, 159-1 at Yonkers. For Stephen Rowley of Mattawa, New Jersey, and the Beaver Stables of Abington, Massachusetts. St. John's, Jimmy Doherty with #7, McGarrett N. And our final entry, another horse from the top classes at Montreal's Blue Bonnets. One who has also faced some of the top seasons champions in North America, the likes of Lime Time and Albuquerque N. This 4-year-old sports a record of 158-1. Last time out, last Sunday at Blue Bonnets in Montreal, he was charted in 156-3. He's owned by Hector Cloutier and Sons of Pembroke, Ontario. Making its first maritime appearance, let's welcome Hector Cloutier with J.J.'s Metro.
Now we go.
There on Saul's Pride, busting for the early lead, so is K3C, and so is Highland Drummer, 3 wide into the turn. Saul's Pride, the leader on the inside. Then up in between horses, KC3 is racing second. Highland Drummer goes up on the outside as KC3 takes cover behind the leader, and Highland Drummer on the outside is now second. He is winging for the lead. KC3 racing in third. JJ's Metro on the outside going out from fourth. The quarter
In 28 and 2, they race into the top turn. Highland Drummer in command. JJ's Metro up and at him on the outside. Saul's Pride is third. KC3 racing fourth. Henry Butler is fifth. Then Pennant Play, McGarrett in. Big U trails. They come through the stretch onto the half, and JJ's Metro goes to the top on the outside. Then Highland Drummer is second. Saul's Pride racing third. JJ's Metro right a half. 58 and 2. Henry Butler is up moving from fifth and going on into the turn for the second time. JJ's Metro. Highland Drummer is second. Henry Butler up on the outside, going on to third. Saul's Pride racing in fourth. Then Pennant Play moving fifth. KC3 McGarrett in, and Big Hughes, they go to the three-quarters. It's JJ's Metro on the outside. Henry Butler, McGarrett in, up way wide. Three-quarters, 1:29 and 4 into the top turn. We need a quarter, better than 30 seconds for a track record. JJ's Metro, McGarrett in, up strong on the outside, coming on from second. Highland Drummer has third. Pennant Play swings wide fourth. Henry Butler is fifth. Through the lane, it's McGarrett in, and JJ's Metro and Pennant Play coming out. It is McGarrett in, and JJ's Metro, Pennant Play. Here they are, 2 minutes flat.
Wow, what a
Field of 8 going for a record $25,000. From post 1, a pair of EPR friends from Foxborough, KC3 and Wendy Donaway. Cup winners back in 1979. KC3, a 7-year-old son of Adios Vic. He's owned by Dr. James Marshall of Washington, D.C. Sports a win race record of 157 and 3. A winner at Foxborough this year in 58 and 2. The number 1 is KC3 with Wendy Donaway. Number 2 is Trio N. He's a 7-year-old New Zealand-bred pacer with a record of 155 and 2, taken earlier this year at the Meadowlands. He's owned by Helen and Frank Rubinetti of Union, New Jersey, and the Central Standard Bred Agency of New Zealand. And back home again, looking for his third Cup win in a row, St. John's own gentleman Jim Doherty. Then from post 3, an EPR favorite, Pennant Play and Wally Hennessy. The horse at EPR has won the Labatt Blue Crown Series. He won the Alexander Memorial. We raced the Monctonian here this year. He won that. He was runner-up in the Cup last year. He's the holder of EPR season's record of 201. A 5-year-old son of Strikeout is owned by Romeo Boucher of Moncton. And then leaving from post 4 will be Truman, a 4-year-old son of Leader Pick. He's been racing at Foxborough and the Meadowlands. He's won this year in 58 and 2. The horse is owned by brothers Angelo and Joe Farrell of Winthrop and Saugus, Massachusetts. And with him, the fellow they call the King of New England, John Hogan. Number 5 is Saul's Pride, horse of the year last year on the Maritimes and the year before. Winner of his last 3 starts, his last in 2 minutes and 1/5. He's the favorite of many, and of course he is the pride of Prince Edward Island. He's owned by Ian and Don Smith of Charlottetown at Montague, and he's handled by Joey Smallwood. From post 6, Amherst Blue, a 4-year-old from Ontario with native Cape Breton owners. He's been racing in top-class company at Greenwood and Flamborough, owned by John and by Britta McLean of Oakville, Ontario, former Cape Bretoners, and he's handled by New Brunswick native Rael Bourgeois. Amherst Blue, 159 and 3, a son of Good Show. Number 7 comes in from Foxborough. He's Honor Barron with a record of 158 and 4. He's owned by Margaret and Robert Muir of Keyser Falls, Maine, a winner in 2 minutes last week. The son of Baron Hanover is being driven by Gary Kamel. And then rounding out the field, the St. John Hope, Colombo Sealster, owned by Paul Dares of St. John. He won here Monday night in 2-1 at 1. And prior to that, set a new track record up at Presque Isle, 2 minutes and 2/5. He's trained and driven by Willard Carr, the old wizard of the turf. So there they are, the starters in the 1982 Cup. It's Provincial Cup 5, and here they come. We're off Trio and on the inside. Truman up and out of on the outside, and Amherst Blue is racing on third. KC3 racing fourth. Pennant Play, Colombo Sealster, Saul's Pride, Honor Baron Trails. They go by the 8th, 4, and Truman up 4 and takes the lead.
Trio N is racing a second up on the outside. Amherst Lou is driving on. He goes to second, takes after the leader. The leader is Truman. And on the outside, Amherst Lou driving a second quarter, 29 seconds into the top turn. They're neck and neck. Now Amherst Lou takes command on the outside. Truman is racing second. Trio N is third. KC3 racing fourth. Then it is Columbo Sealster. Pen and Play. They come swinging off the top turn. Saul's Pride seventh. Honor Baron trails. Here they come racing to the half. The leader now is Truman. Back on top again, and Trio N comes up and at him on the outside, and Trio N goes to the top by the half. Through the mud, a minute 1/5. It is Trio N and Truman racing second. Amherst Lou is racing at third. Then on the outside, and KC3 going on. He's driving at third, and KC3 is now second. He takes after the leader as they go by the 5/8. On to the 3/4, Trio N and KC3. Truman is third. Columbo Sealster out driving on the fourth. Then it is Saul's Pride. Then Amherst Lou, Pen and Play, and Honor Baron, 3/4, 31 and 4. They are rid of the top turn. Trio N the leader on the inside. He's under a tight rein. KC3 is on the outside, driving hard second, and Columbo Sealster will swing out 3 wide. He's coming on strong third. They swing for home. Trio N. KC3. Here comes Columbo Sealster up 3 wide on the inside. Truman. It is KC3 Trio. Truman back out again. Here they are in 2:03 and 2. And Truman getting through on the inside. It's tight for second and third. Mile in 2:03 and 2. Son of a gun, had we had track conditions and weather, for sure, we would have had a new track record. So the result is now official. Truman and John Hogan in 2:03 and 2. The fractions, quarter 29, the half at a minute and 1/5, 3/4, 1:31 and 4, and the mile in 2:03 and 2. And remember, I said our track was 4 to 5 seconds off. KC3 was second, beaten by 3/4 of a length. Then Trio N third, also 3/4 off the top. Columbo Sealster was fourth, Pen and Play fifth. Saul's Pride sixth. Then Honor Baron and Amherst Lou. At the Mutuals, Truman paid $6.60, $4.40, and $2.60. KC3 returned $5.40 and $4, and Trio N returned $2.60 to show. Total handle tonight, not a record. Again, we blame the weather. It worked out to $180,600. The winner, Truman, a 4-year-old altered son of Leader Pick and Shy Away Matron, owned by Joe and Angelo Farrell of Winthrop and Saugus, Mass., trained by Diane Helen and driven by John Hogan. It's the 12th winning trip this year from 28 tries for Truman. So we hope that you... The starters for Provincial Cup 6. Okay, come with the one horse.
From this day forth, you'll be a channel of God's power and blessing to others who are suffering from this dread disease. Thank God.
Last year's winner, John Hogan, recognized in racing circles as the King of New England. He won last year with Truman. Went on to lead all North American drivers with a season's average of 4:11. For owners Murray Gibbo and Robert Aaron of Framingham, Massachusetts, let's welcome John Hogan with number 1, Hillbilly Orr. Okay, with it. Come our maritime horses. Led by the winner of Charlottetown's prestigious Gold Cup and Saucer. Race timed in 2 minutes, 2 starts ago, and rounding now into top form for owner Murray Wade of Moncton. Marcel Barrio parades number 2, Silent Class. We have a veteran of maritime racing, a familiar figure to many. Now retired from driving, Joe Hennessy. He's proud tonight. The next 2 horses are handled by his sons. We introduce our representative right now from Prince Edward Island, the Kentucky of Canada. First year of the maritime free-for-all circuit for the horse and his owner.
the winner of our Alexander Memorial this year in 2-1. For owner Clarence Soggy Reed of Charlottetown, Jody Hennessy with number 3, Glenn Reynolds. Fifth best driving average in all of North America. Well on his way to a 200-win season this year. He'll be the first to reach that plateau ever in the Maritimes. Here is Wally Hennessy with the winner of last week's A&E Invitational from Moncton, Romeo Boucher's Autopilot.
Share your needs with me. I count it such a privilege to pray for you. Let me pray. Let me unite my faith with yours. Join me. Stand with us. Let me stand with you. I'll tell you, one will chase 1,000, who will put 10,000 to flight. This is your miracle. Let me hear from you. Release those problems to Jesus. Put them in his hands. Let him do
what we shall call the St. John Hope. It's the lone entry from St. John. Last week, he won the prestigious Walter Dale Memorial at Fredericton, pacing the mile in 2 minutes flat. The second fastest mile of the Maritimes this year. From the powerful stable of Paul Deers of St. John, the wizard of the turf, veteran driver Woodard Carr with number 5, Colombo Sealster.
Right to my Canadian mailing address, Peter Popoff, box 159, Station D, Toronto.
This fastest pacers. This man is 13th on the all-time dash winners list. He has more than 3,300 winners. This horse was charted in 1:53 last Sunday at Montreal. He's owned by Serge Savard, the old Spinorama kid of the Montreal Canadiens. We welcome to the Maritimes Gilles Gendron with Armbro Vienna. No doubt will be the sentimental favorite of those in the audience tonight from the Isle of Cape Breton. For this horse is named after a village in Cape Breton. Right now, he's one of the top horses from Foxborough. He sports a record of 157. For the father and son combination of Lou and Jeff Budnick of Lexington, Massachusetts, we welcome to the Maritimes the young up-and-coming New England rangeman, Bruce Ranger, with number 7, Skidoo. Coming from the top class at the top track in North America, the Meadowlands, race time in July in 1:52 3. Winner of $350,000 lifetime. Trainer Jimmy Winters has given us this world-class pacer, St. John's Jimmy Dore, and he drives number 8, Nero's BB. Your scores, lights on, please. And gentlemen, parade back again. Ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers parade back for their second score, we'll have tape-recorded messages from each and every one of them for you. Hillbilly Orr.
Hi, Maritime racing fans. This is John Hogan. It's nice to be back in St. John, this time with Hillbilly Orr, and I hope you like him. Of all the races I've won, my biggest thrill in winning was right here last year with Truman. On behalf of owners Murray Gabor and Robin Aaron of Framingham, Massachusetts, let me say thanks for the chance to race in this event and wish my fellow drivers the best of luck.
John, this is Marcel Bower with Mary Wade's Silent Class. We had a big trail together 2 weeks ago, winning the Gold Cup in Saucer at Charlottetown. We pulled off a big surprise in that one. With a few breaks, who knows? Maybe we'll surprise a few tonight. Good luck to our backers. Good luck to my fellow reinsmen.
I'm Jody Hennessy. It's just super being in the Maritime's richest race. I've got a good horse, and we're racing for a super owner, Soggy Reed. Glen Reynolds was real sharp earlier in the season. We were winning the big ones back then. We're hoping for better things tonight. Thank you.
Hi, racing fans. I'm Wally Hennessy. The best I've been in a cup race before was a second with pen of play to McGarrett Inn in 2 minutes. That's a thrill I'll always remember. Romeo Boucher and Elaine Bergeron have worked hard with this horse, getting him back into tip-top shape. We won our last start, although most think we were in plenty tough. Don't count us out, especially if we're handy at the head of the lane. Thanks for your support, and good luck to the other drivers.
Hi, folks. It's a real honor for me to be driving the St. John Hope again. Colombo Sealster, the only St. John horse in the race, and he's the oldest. But I can tell you, he's sharper than ever. Remember, he paced in 2 minutes for me in winning the Wilder Dale. We picked up a fourth in this race last year for Paul Dares. Sure, we're in tougher this year, but we've won before when we were in tough. Good luck to the others.
Hello, Maritime racing fans. I'm very pleased to be here tonight, my first ride in the Maritime, in which a great horses and horsemen. Sir Savard feels bad he can't be here. He's busy with the Canadian. But what's count, we have his great horses, Amboviana. I hope to show you something with him, and to my fellow reinsmen, I say bonne chance.
Yeah. Hello, you Maritime racing fans. It sure is a pleasure for me to be here from Foxborough. My uncle Loring Norton has been in New Brunswick many times driving horses, but this is the first time for me. I've heard so many good things about EPR and the big race, and I'm sure glad to be part of it. I've got a good horse for Lou and Jeff Budnick, a horse that's been named after a village in Cape Breton. Again, it's nice to be here, and thank you very much. Hi, St. John fans. This is Jimmy Dory. It's nice to be back home again, back at Exhibition Park where my racing career began. I've always tried to bring with me a good horse, and tonight Jimmy Winters has given me the best one I've had here yet. He's just a nice kind of horse that's been racing at the Meadowlands. I know this is a decent horse, and I know this racetrack. I've come here to give you a good race. Thank you very much.
At the gate is moving. Provincial Cup 6, top of the stretch, Hillbilly Orr, Silent Class, Glen Reynolds, Out of Potted, Colombo Sealster, Ambroviana, Skirt 2, and Nero's Beepy. Here they come. Where of it is Colombo Sealster. He goes winging forward. He has the lead. Silent Class is on the inside. Racing up second, Ambroviana. He's outside and driving on third as they swing around the turn and go to the eighth. Then it's Hillbilly Orr, Nero's BB up on the outside. Glen Reynolds Out of Pilot. Skirt Dew is trailing as they race on to the quarter. Colombo Sealster the leader. Up on the outside, Ambroviana goes on. He takes command. Ambroviana moving out. Colombo Sealster racing as second. Silent Class is third. They're by that quarter, 28 and 4. It is Ambroviana leading into the top turn. A like for the quarter. Colombo Sealster second. Nero's BB parked. He drives on third. Silent Class is fourth on the rail. Then it is Hillbilly Orr. He comes out to move. Then Glen Reynolds, Autopilot, and Skirt Dew as they come driving on to the half. Up on the outside, here comes Nero's BB. Ambroviana on the run. It is Nero's BB. Now by 2, Hillbilly Orr racing second. Then Silent Class is third. The half at 59 and 1. Into the turn for the second time. Nero's BB. Hillbilly Orr on his back. Silent Class is third. Look at Glen Reynolds up strong on the outside. Racing on third. Silent Class now fourth. On the outside, Colombo Sealster now fifth. Then Autopilot and Skirt Dew and far back. Ambroviana on to the three quarters. Nero's BB. Glen Reynolds has gone to second. There goes Colombo Sealster. Sealster out 3 wide as they go racing by the 3/4. 1:29 and 4. It is Nero's BB, Hillbilly Orr, Glenn Reynolds, Columbo Sealster. Silent Class is on the rails. Skidoo and Autopilot. They come by the 7/8 and head for home. Nero's BB is the leader. Nero's BB, Hillbilly Orr driving up a strong second, coming on. Then Glenn Reynolds on the outside, Autopilot. It is Nero's BB holding. Here they are. Nero's BB, Hillbilly Orr, Autopilot, Glenn Reynolds, Columbo Sealster, Silent Class, Skidoo, and Armbro Vienna. And the mile, a track record, 1:59 and 4. Quite a gathering we have trackside now. There are a lot of people in the St. John Doherty family. No disputing that. Jimmy Doherty has come back home with Nero's BB and sets a new track record of 1:59 and 4. For that, he gets a check for $1,000.
Your memory for just a moment. EPR started Provincial Cup back in 1978 when your favorite Power Baron returned home from the Meadowlands and won in 2:02 and 4. The purse that night was $15,000. The next year, Wendy Dunaway won with KC3 from Foxborough in 2 minutes and 4/5. In 1980, Jimmy Doherty won with Besta Baron in 2:01 and 4. And Gentleman Jim came back home the next year to win, equaling our track record of 2 minutes as he won with McGarrett N. In 1982, we were experiencing a muddy track, rated that night from 4 to 5 seconds off, and John Hogan won the Classic with Truman in 2:3 and 2. Last year, it was Jim Doherty for the 3rd time, setting a track record of 1:59 and 4 with Nero's BB. And now it's August 31st, 1984. It's time for our Provincial Cup 7. We start our post parade with number 1 tonight, regarded by thousands of Maritimers as number 1 of all time. We've nicknamed him our pacing machine. He dazzled us here this spring as he swept the Labatt Blue Crown Series, setting our track record of 1:58. He also has paced in 58 at Truro and Charlottetown. He's won 20 times. He's finished second in his other 4 starts. He's won over $50,000 this year. At his head, his colorful owner, Mr. George Canning of Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. And the 3rd Maritime driver to reach the 2,000 win level, Dougie Walsh, and Winners accolades. Coming next, another Maritime champion. Mr. Premier, we draw your attention to this fellow. This colt, a 3-year-old, is New Brunswick bred, and he's the first Maritime bred performer to be invited into our Provincial Cup. He represents then the dreams of all our standard bred breeders. He established the Maritime record of 1:59 and 3 this summer at Halifax. He's won here in 2 minutes and 1/5. The all-time Maritime bred champion 3-year-old is owned by Moncton sportsman Murray Wade. He's been developed by one of our top colt men. Marcel Barrio parades his pride and joy, number 2, Angel Shadow.
Just hold it a bit there, please, just a bit.
Okay.
mention, ladies and gentlemen, that the coolers worn by the starters in Provincial Cup stay with the horses as a souvenir of their participating in this event. Number 2, Angel Shadow and Marcel Barrio. Now it is an extreme pleasure to welcome to the Maritimes one of the members of the famed Filion family from Angers, Quebec. We have 3 brothers with us tonight. First, here is Henry Filion with one of the top horses from the top class at Montreal's Blue Bonnets. Supremely bred, he is by Meadow Skipper out of Born Rich, and she by Henry T. Adios. Our winner this year at Blue Bonnets in 156 and 3. He's owned and trained by Renald Filion of Lachute, Quebec, in partnership with W. and M. Stewart of Soulbury, Pennsylvania. So let's welcome Henry Filion with number 3, Daddy Warbucks. Leading the horse is his owner and regular driver, Renald Filion. Number 3, Henry Filion and Daddy Warbucks. Coming next, our only visitor from New England, a slick 5-year-old son of Most Happy Fellow. He's won in 56 and 3 at the Meadowlands this year. He has 6 miles at the Meadowlands under 158. He has won since then at Foxborough in 58 and 3. And in his last start, he equaled the track record at the Skowhegan Fair in 2 minutes flat. Now owned by Walter Bassett of South Windsor, Connecticut. He's trained by Rodney Grady, a man who was with us back in Provincial Cup 1. Let's welcome back for the 2nd year in a row, driver Bruce Ranger with number 4, Staunch Avenger. Number 4, Staunch Avenger and Bruce Ranger. Now let's welcome another flying Filion, this time with another top horse from Montreal. A starter in their special $100,000 challenge 2 weeks ago. This 5-year-old son of Keystone Ore has faced the likes of Mr. Dalgray, Boomer Drummond, and Umbrella Fella this year. Last year, almost a year ago to the day, he was second to Cold Harbor at a mile that stands as the fastest ever on a Canadian 5/8 mile track. Second that day in 1:52 and 3, and charted in 1:53. Standing at stud this spring, he's just returning to the races. This will be his 4th start for the Bayama Farms of Lachute, Quebec. Let's welcome Yves Filion with number 5, Supreme Jade. Number 5, Supreme Jade and Yves Filion. And now we welcome another Moncton colt. He's a son of the great Albatross. He's a colt that's been racing at the Meadowlands for Nova Scotia natives Freddie Grant and Billy O'Donnell. A 157 and 2 record as a 2-year-old, now with a new record 2 weeks ago of 154 and 4, and he is an eligible for this year's Little Brown Jug. For owners Rod Gauguin of Moncton and Bertac Cormier of Coquin. Wally Hennessy shows you for the first time in the Maritimes number 6, Malone Hanover. There he is, number 6, Malone Hanover and Wally Hennessy. Next, we introduce a horse that was developed on Prince Edward Island by Alex McPhee. At the time, he was owned by H.B. Willis. He went away to the Meadowlands and became a star. He also raced against the likes of Boomer Drummond. He sports a win race record of 154-2, and in his last start, defeated winner's accolade to win Charlottetown's Gold Cup and Saucer. From the Mona stable of Ottawa, Mike McDonald, one of the top Montreal rangemen now, makes his first appearance in the Provincial Cup with number 7, Pearl's Falcon. Number 7, Pearl's Falcon, with Mike McDonald. And now another New Brunswick-owned pacer making his first appearance in the Maritimes. Last year, as a 3-year-old, he earned $118,000 in the New York Sire Stakes and took a half-mile track record of 159-2 while racing in the Del Insco stable. He comes home for the first time from Roosevelt Raceway in Yonkers to the stable of popular Fredericton sportsman Dave Khalil. Here's his man, Mike Dowling, parading number 8, Ned Blue Chip. Number 8, Ned Blue Chip and Mike Dowling. So, ladies and gentlemen, there they are, our finest field ever. 2 Maritime performers who've been setting records here at home. 2 more coming home for the first time. 4 Maritime horses against 4 friendly invaders from Montreal and Boston. Your field for Provincial Cup 7. Cup 7, top of the stretch. Winner's accolade, Doug Walsh. Angel Shadow, Marcel Barrio. Daddy Warbucks with Henry Fillion. Staunch Avenger, Bruce Ranger. Supreme Jade, Eves Fillion. Malone Hanover, Wally Hennessy. Pearl's Falcon with Mike McDonald. Ned Blue Chip with Mike Dowling. Here they come. Clear off winner's accolade, the leader, Supreme Jade, up forward and on the outside, Pearl's Falcon. They're 3 wide into the turn. It is Supreme Jade, winner's accolade, racing second. Pearl's Falcon driving up on the outside. He is second. Winner's accolade is racing third. They're by the 8th pole. Up the backstretch, they travel to the quarter, and Pearl's Falcon goes to the top. Supreme Jade is racing second. Winner's accolade is third. Angel Shadow is fourth. Daddy Warbucks racing fifth. Staunch Avenger, Malone Hanover. Ned Blue Chip trails the quarter, 29 seconds. They go racing into the top turn. Pearl's Falcon on top of 2. Supreme Jade racing second. Winner's accolade has third. Angel Shadow, he is fourth. Then it is Daddy of Warbucks, Staunch Avenger, Malone Hanover, Ned Blue Chip through the stretch. Here they come, they're racing to the half. Pearl's Falcon cutting it out. Supreme Jade is second. Winner's accolade is third. Angel Shadow is fourth. Daddy Warbucks, Staunch Avenger going to the inside. There goes winner's accolade at 59-3. They're into the turn. On to the 5/8. Pearl's Falcon. Winner's accolade up and at him on the outside. Racing on a strong second. Supreme Jade is a third. Angel Shadow driving up fourth. Winner's accolade goes forward. He shows on top. It is winner's accolade. Pearl's Falcon on the outside. Angel Shadow a strong third. Supreme Jade is fourth. Daddy Warbucks going up to fourth. Supreme Jade is fifth. 128-4 by the 3/4. Into the top turn. Winner's accolade. Look who's at his wheel. It is Angel Shadow, and he's inside. They swing for home. Winner's Accolade, Angel Shadow driving up a strong second. Winner's Accolade, Angel Shadow. Here comes Supreme Jade. Here comes Danny Warbucks to the wire. It is going to be Winner's Accolade, Supreme Jade, Angel Shadow. Time for the mile. 59-3. Pleased to have with us Miss Shirley LeBlanc, this A&E 1984. And soon to be joining her, there she is, Mary Lynn McNeil, Miss St. John. And Premier Richard Hatfield. We're bringing all the starters back. One heck of a horse race, gentlemen. We have some souvenirs for you. As we mentioned, you keep your cooler blankets. To Yves Filion, we have a blue jacket with gold cresting. A souvenir of your participation, sir, in Provincial Cup 7. A jacket and a cap. Thank you very much. Now to Mike Downing. A jacket and a cap. Thank you, Michael. And a Marcel Barrio with the New Brunswick bred Angel Shadow. A jacket and a cap. To Mike McDonald. Michael, thank you very much. To Wally Hennessy now, a jacket and a cap. Thank you, Wally. And for Yves Filion. We hope you wear this proudly, Yves, around the stable area at Blue Bonnets and wherever you go. Thank you very much, sir. And to Bruce Ranger with number 4, Staunch Avenger. Bruce, a jacket and a cap for you. And again, thank you very much, Bruce. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes. Our pacing machine. Number 1 on your program, and I think number 1 in your hearts. Winner's Accolade and Dougie Walsh. Down there being congratulated by Premier Hatfield was Mr. George Canning, the owner of Winner's Accolade. George, this has to be your biggest win. A trip tonight, folks, in 59-3. Again, it's difficult to determine just how much off our track had been. Had it not been for the rain, I'm sure that you would agree with me that we would have seen a new track record here tonight. Our congratulations then to number 1, Winner's Accolade. And we introduce to you now the youngster in the field, a maritime-bred 3-year-old son of Horton, Hanover. He sports a win race record of 2:01.2. Of late, he's been flirting with 2 minutes. Driver Clark Smith, the second winningest driver in the Maritimes with 2,121 wins.
his lifetime earnings approaching the $1 million mark. For the Caper Stable of Campbellville, Ontario, here's Clark Smith with number 1, Island Fella. There he is, number 1, Island Fella. Next, one of the top pacers from Montreal, a horse with lifetime earnings of $332,000. He has a record of 155-4. 2 starts back. He was race timed at 154-1, finishing 2 lengths behind on the road again. His driver has 2,368 lifetime wins and $7.8 million in winnings. Let's give a good old-fashioned maritime welcome now to Yves Filion with number 2, Supreme Jade. There he is, number 2, Supreme Jade, and Yves Filion. And next, last year's Provincial Cup champion at Maritime Horse of the Year. Our track record holder, and sporting his new record of 157-3 and winning Charlotte's Gold Cup and Saucer. His driver has 648 career wins and $2.4 million in purses won. Owner George Canning of Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia, leads the horse. Prince Edward Island native Michael McDonald parades number 3, Winner's Accolade. Caretaker Miles Cudmore and Mike McDonald, number 3, Winner's Accolade. Next in line comes a New Brunswick-bred 4-year-old. He's the fastest maritime bred of all time at a maritime half-mile track, with miles at 158-2. His win race record on a 5/8 track, 157-4. He's making his second appearance in this classic, and his trainer driver has 1,290 career wins, earnings of $1.3 million. For owner Murray Wade of Moncton, here's Marcel Barrio with number 4, Angel's Shadow.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to present the reigning Maritime champion. His records, 156-4 on a half-mile track at Charlottetown. 154-2 on a 5/8 track at Moncton. 2 weeks ago, a 155-2 track record at Yonkers. This year he's earned $155,000. His driver ranks number 1 among the Maritime Rangemen with 2,656 career wins and lifetime earnings of $1.4 million. For Eric Webby of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Dave Pinckney parades the world-class performer, Wave Orr. Groom Janie Shallot, trainer driver Dave Pinckney, and number 5, Wave Orr. Next, the horse we call this year the St. John Hope. Remember, he's the first Maritime bred performer to beat 2 minutes and a half-mile track in the Maritimes. He was the 1983 Maritime Horse of the Year. He's St. John owned and St. John bred. His records, 159 and a half-mile track, 158 and 1 and a 5/8. His driver has 1,389 career wins, lifetime earnings of $1.4 million. For Jerry Lowe's Gemini Hill Stable of St. John, Steve Mahar parades number 6, Gemini Risk. Grooms Junior Tower, Ross Galbraith, Steve Mahar, and Gemini Risk. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, your field of 6 for Provincial Cup 8. Provincial Cup 8, approaching the top of the stretch, a field of 6. Island Fellow with Clark Smith. Supreme Jade with Eves Fillion. Winner's Accolade with Mike McDonald. Angel Shadow with Marcel Barrio. Wave Orr with Dave Pinckney. Gemini Risk with Steve Mahar, and here they come. There, off and Angel Shadow bids for the ladies, 3 wide, showing on top. Supreme Jade is on the rail and racing to the top now. Winner's Accolade in between horses, racing a 3rd. Island Fell up on the rail. He is a 4th. Wave for 5th. Gemini Risk. By the 8th, they go up the backstretch, racing to the quarter, and Angel Shadow goes to the top. There goes Winner's Accolade up on the outside, but Supreme Jade drives to second. Winner's Accolade backs off. He settles for cover on the rail. He's racing third now. Island Fella fourth. Then it's Wave O'er and Gemini Risk in that opening quarter in 28 and 1. Around the top turn, Angel's Shadow by a length and a half. Supreme Jade is racing a second. Winner's Accolade third. They swing through the stretch and come to the half, and it is Angel's Shadow. Supreme Jade is second. Winner's Accolade is third. Here comes Wave O'er. Up on the outside, he goes to fourth. Island Fella's racing fifth, and Gemini Risk is the trailer. They were by the half in 58 and 1. Around the turn, they go to the 5/8. It is Angel Shadow, still by a length and a half. He's the leader by the 5/8, and it's on to the 3/4 now. Angel Shadow, Supreme Jade, Winner's Accolade, Wave O'er is fourth, Island Fella fifth, and Gemini Risk. It is Angel Shadow, the leader by the 3/4. Supreme Jade is the second. 1:27 and 1 by the 3/4. I say again, 1:27 and 1. It is Angel Shadow, Supreme Jade driving a second. Winner's Accolade and Wave O'er is fourth. Now they're fatting out 3 wide. Angel Shadow, Wave O'er, Supreme Jade. 3 of them neck and neck to the wire. Here they are. It is too tight to call. Looks like maybe Angel Shadow will need a photo. The time for the mile, 1:57. EPR track record, one of the fellows helping to make it possible. Number 1, Island Fella and Clarky Smith. How about a good hand for him? And Mr. Smith, Mr. Caldwell, the Exhibition Park General Manager, has a jacket for you and a cap. Same for you, Steve Mahar. Congratulations, a super... A jacket and cap for you. And Mike McDonald, thanks for coming down from Montreal with the old Maritime Pacing Machine Winner's Accolade. Super trip. And to you, Mr. Filion, and your good horse, Supreme Jade, thanks for coming to Exhibition Park. It's been nice having you back. Get a jacket and cap for you. And Mr. Pinckney, a jacket and cap for you. And thanks for giving us a shot, a look at your great horse, Wave O'er. And we're waiting for a photo between 2, 4, and 5. Marcel Barrio, super trip with your horse, 1:57, right there at the wire. We're waiting for a photo between 2, 4, and 5. When we get to trackside presentations representing the province of New Brunswick, Mrs. Nancy Clark Teed. And the photo shows the winner of Provincial Cup 8 to be number 4, Angel Shadow.
So our congratulations, of course, to Murray Wade of Moncton, the owner of Angel's Shadow, and of course the trailer driver Marcel Barrio, winning Provincial Cup, a track record time 1:57. And the result of the 10th race. Island Fellow was 6th. Supreme Jade was 3rd. Winner's Accolade 4th. Angel's Shadow, your race winner. Wave Or was 2nd. Gemini Risk was 5th. And the times: the quarter 28 and 1. The half 58 and 1. 3/4 1:27 and 1. And the mile in 1:57. Cards should breed 6, 3, 4, 1, 2, 5. The mile 1:57. First, we introduce another of the many New Zealand-bred imports to the Milton Downey stable, now in his 2nd season here in North America and reaching his top form. A winner twice this year in 2 minutes and 4/5. Race timed last time in 1:59 and 3. He's the fastest aged pacing gelding at EPR this year. Trainer driver Steve Mason parades number 1, Rosin. Next, we parade the true St. John horse. He was bred here and foaled here, and he was developed here, and he became a champion here. The first Maritime-bred performer to beat 2 minutes in the Maritimes, and winner of more than $125,000 lifetime. Owned by Jerry Low's Gemini Hill Stable and trained by Don Galbraith. Driver Steve Mahar parades number 2, Gemini Risk. Now we extend a big maritime welcome to a visitor from the top class ranks at Montreal's Blue Bonnets Raceway. This horse sports a win race record of 156 taken this year at Montreal. He has seasonal earnings of $40,000 plus. He's owned by Denny's Robidoux Incorporated of Granby, Quebec. And we welcome to the Maritimes trainer driver Norman Desiro with number 3, RT Time. record holder and winner of Provincial Cup 8 in 1:57. Winner of $86,000 last year. Already this year he has $53 on his papers. He too has raced in the top class this year at Montreal, but now he's back home. The fastest maritime bred performer of all time, trainer driver Marcel Barrio parades number 4, Murray Wade's Angel Shadow. Back when we began this prestigious event way back in 1978, Mike Doyle and Power Baron came back from New York and Boston, and they won Provincial Cup 1, pacing that night in 2:02 and 4. Tonight, we have a son of Power Baron in Provincial Cup 9. Last year's top Atlantic sired 3-year-old pacer, he won here in 2 minutes and 1/5. This year at Foxborough, he has a new tab of 1:59 and 2. This son of Power Baron is owned by Sterling Wiggins of Westfield and Alan Hansen of St. John. He's trained by John Davies. Jody Hennessy parades number 5, Toe Big Power. Now we show you a son of the renowned Meadows skipper. This horse won Monday night's Miss AME Invitational in 1:59 and 2, our fastest model this season. It also equaled our all-time track record for aged pacing horses. This year he's been 12 times first, second, or third out of 13 starts. He's won his last 3 in 2 minutes or better. Owned by Hugh and Taylor of Hunter River, Prince Edward Island, trained by Alan Smith, his son Earl parades number 6, Paris Dexter. And finally, here's a horse who's raced himself into prominence this season. He came to EPR this spring with only 3 lifetime wins and a 3-year-old record of 2:05 and 2. But he changed all that in a big hurry. This year, he's been 21 times first, second, or third. He has a record now of 2:01, and he has been race timed to the half-mile track in 1:58 and 2. Owned by Carolyn Kaiser of Woodstock, trained by her husband Arthur. Tonight, Ronnie Cass parades number 7, Ojo. So there they are, ladies and gentlemen, your field of 7. A Montreal Invader and 6 of the Maritime Superstars, your starters in Provincial Cup 9. And we're all set now for the 10th race, Provincial Cup 9. A purse of $15,000, a field of 7 approaching the top of the stretch. Rosedden with Steve Mason, Jim and I Risk with Steve Mahar, RT Time with Normand Desiro, Angel Shadow, Marcel Barrio, Toe Big Power, Jody Hennessy, Paris Dexter, Earl Smith, and Ojo with Ronnie Cass, and here they come. Clear off Angel Shadow, quick off the gate, goes to the top, he's the leader, in on the rail already, and Rosedden is racing a second, Jim and Iris gets away a third, swinging around the turn, it is Angel Shadow, a length and a half, but Rosedden is second, Jim and Iris gets a third, RT Time racing a fourth, then it is a Toe Big Power, Paris Dexter and Ojo trails as they race on to the quarter. Angel's Shadow out now but 2.5 with Rosadan racing is second. Gemini Risk is third, and they were by the opening quarter in 29 and 2 and around the top turn. Angel's Shadow but 2. Rosadan is second. Gemini Risk a third. RT Time has fourth. Toe Big Power fifth. Paris Dexter and Adjo. Now through the stretch they come racing to the half. Angel's Shadow cuts it out. Has the best of it by 2. Rosadan is second. Here comes RT Time up from the outside racing on to third. Behind it with cover goes Paris Dexter. The half in 1, a 50 and 59 and 1. Around the top turn, Angel's Shadow. Angel's Shadow a length and a half. Rosadan RT Time now gets to second. He's at the leader's wheel. Rosadan racing third. Paris Dexter out driving fourth. Gemini Risk fifth on the rail. Adjo goes to sixth. Toe Big Power trails on to the three-quarters. Angel's Shadow a length and a half, and they were by that marker. 128 and 3 around the top turn. Angel's Shadow. RT Time racing second. Paris Dexter drives on strong third. By the 7/8 they head for home. Angel's Shadow. Paris Dexter driving up strong on the outside. RT Time. Gemini Risk is coming on, but it's going to be Angel's Shadow. He wins Provincial Cup 9. Paris Dexter, RT Time, Rosadan, Gemini Risk, Toe Big Power, and Adjo. And the time for the mile, 1:58 and 1. And now parading the winner of Provincial Cup 9, number 4, Angel's Shadow. Bay Pacing Horse 5, Maritime Bred. He is by Angel's Wave out of Bonflash, owned by Murray Wade of Moncton, trained and driven by Marcel Barrio. That's the 7th winning trip this year for Angel's Shadow. 1:58 and 1. A repeat win for Angel's Shadow in Provincial Cup. Angel's Shadow, as I told you in our post parade, was the fastest maritime bred performer of all time with his trip last year in Cup 8 in 1:57. That's our all-time track record. Tonight, Angel's Shadow also goes into our EPR record book. His mile 1:58 and 1 becomes the fastest ever by an aged pacing horse. So our congratulations to Marcel Barrio, owner Murray Wade, and Angel's Shadow winning Provincial Cup 9. And the result of the Provincial Cup now official. Rosadan was 4th. Gemini Risk 5th. RT Time was 3rd. Angel's Shadow, your race winner. Toe Big Power 6th. Paris Dexter 2nd. Adjo was 7th. Times a quarter 29 and 2. The half in 59 and 1. Three-quarters 1:28 and 3. And the mile in 1:58 and 1. Fastest in the Maritimes this year on a half-mile track. Your Quinella 4 and 6 paid $12.50. Triacta 4, 6, 3 paid $38.10.
Paul McDonald made every post a winning one with a 1:59 and 4 triumph in the $15,000 Provincial Cup, September 5th at Exhibition Park Raceway in New Brunswick.
And Gimbal is the leader by a length. Ball McGee Breeze is racing a second. Here comes Mountain Swinger again, moving up on the outside as they go racing out by the half. Gimbal, the leader. The half was in 1:01 and a 3 and around the turn. They've raced to the 5/8. Gimbal's on top, a length and a quarter. Ball McGee Breeze is second. Adjo third. Weston Miracle. Mountain Swinger and the Papermaker tipping out 3 wide to rush on. Wait, go to the 3/4. Gimbal moves out now, but 2.5. Then Ball McGee Breeze and Adjo. The Papermaker gets to 4th. Weston Miracle is 5th. Mountain Swinger trailing 6th, and they were by the 3/4. 1:32 and 3 and around the top turn. It's Gimbal by 2. Ball McGee Breeze, the Papermaker, is now 3rd. Adjo's 4th. Western Miracle, a strong 5th. They swing for home, and it is a Gimbal Ball McGee Breeze out to challenge, racing on a strong second. Gimbal, Ball McGee Breeze, Joe, the papermaker, and here they are at the line. Gimbal, then Ball McGee Breeze.
Filion. Second looking Jimmy Davis. Working overtime with Frankie Fagan. Ball McGee Breeze with Jody Hennessy, Courtney Bay, and Steve Mahar, Knightley Glib, Bob Stevenson, Dunashton Major, Russell Burgoyne, and here they come. They're off working overtime to the top and up on the outside. Courtney Bay driving on. Crimson up on the inside. He is racing a third. Second look is a fourth. Ball McGee Breeze, Knightley Glib, Dunashton Major trails. They're on up the backstretch, racing on to the quarter and pacing on the top. It is working overtime. Courtney Bay is racing a second, then driving a third, Crimson. Then they race on by the opening quarter, and they're by that in 29 and 2. They're rid of the top turn. Pacing on top, it is working overtime. He's out a length and a half. Courtney Bay sitting pretty on the rail. He's racing second. Crimson is a third. Second look is fourth. Here comes Knightley Glib fifth. Then Ball McGee Breeze and Dunashton Major. Through the stretch they come. They're racing to the half, and Crimson to the top now on the outside. Working overtime is racing second. Second look flying up on the outside. Goes to second now. Working overtime is third. Knightley Glib is a fourth. The half a minute and 2/5 around the turn. Racing to the 5/8. Crimson's on top. Second look at him on the outside second. Then working overtime is third. Knightley Glib is on the outside fourth. Courtney Bay locked in fifth. Then Dunashton Major and Ball McGee Breeze on to the three-quarter pole. Crimson a length and a half. Dunashton Major's off stride. They're by the three-quarters, and Crimson pacing on top. Working overtime is the second. Three-quarters 1:30. Crimson a length and a half. Working overtime and second look. Courtney Bay racing fourth. Knightley Glib is fifth. Ball McGee Breeze. They turn for home. It is a Crimson pacing on top now, but two. Crimson working overtime. Courtney Bay comes up through on the inside. He's coming on, but it's going to be Crimson on alone at the line. Crimson wins it. Then Courtney Bay, Knightley Glib, second look. Tight between Ball McGee Breeze and working overtime and Dunashton Major. And the time for the mile, 1:58 and 4. Also have Mr. Herb Shannon from the Canadian Trotting Association, Mr. Willard Jenkins, and Mr. Milton Downey. Trackside now to make the trophy presentation. To Crimson, owned by the Bayama Farms of Lachute and Normand Mondot of Laval, Quebec. Trained and driven tonight by Sylvain Filion. Crimson wins Provincial Cup 11, 1:58 and 4. Race out of the 12th race, now official. Crimson, your race winner. Second look was fourth, working overtime fifth. Gimbal was scratched. Ball McGee Breeze was sixth. Courtney Bay second. Knightley Glib third. And Dunashton Major seventh. Race times quarter 29 and 2, the half a minute and 2/5. Three-quarters 1:30, the mile 1:50.
Very large and diverse.
The man that made him famous, Mike Doyle, in his familiar green and white silks, and riding alongside New Brunswick Premier Frank McKenna. And here comes Power Baron with Mike Doyle and Frank McKenna. Carrying the Canadian flag, Blair Wanamaker on Blondie. Carrying the flag of the United States of America is Tony Mason with Misty. And carrying the New Brunswick flag, Patty Morris with Patch. Hamilton the fourth, singing "Take Me Back to Old New Brunswick." It's my pleasure to introduce for your sporting enjoyment the starters in Provincial Cup 13. Our first entry comes from the neighboring state of Maine. He's a 7-year-old pacer with a win race record of 156. In mid-August, he was a winner at 156 and 4 at his home track Scarborough Downs, and on the 18th of this month was second in the 157 track record mile at Skowhegan. For Patricia at Lowell Pease of Scarborough, Maine, Jody Hennessy shows you now number 1, Brett's Caliber. Now, let's welcome back an EPR regular from 10 years ago, and he brings a top-class horse from Flamborough Downs. A winner there this year in 57 and 4, chartered in 156 at his last start, and a winner this year of almost $40,000. Owned by Marie and Tom Huser of Oshawa, country singer Carol Baker and Ray-Jean Volio of Guelph. Welcome Cape Breton's Callie Rankin with line 1. Next comes a former Canadian champion on a half-mile track, sporting a record of 152 and 2 at Lexington, a winner this year in 154 and 1 at Montreal, and showing a half-mile track chart in 155 and 3. Just 3 starts back, he's won $738,000. Charlottetown native Mike McDonald with number 3, Bomb Rickles. Our next entry was a winner here 2 years ago as a 2-year-old. The next year he went to Montreal, took a record of 154 and 3, won $65,000. This year he's earned $48,000 has won in 56 and 2 at Montreal, won the Governor's Plate at Somerset, the Exhibition Cup at Truro in 157, won Gold Cup Trial in Charlottetown in 58 and 1. For Art Craig of Croppo, Charlottetown's leading driver, Paul McDonald, shows you number 4, Shirley Sham. Until a week ago, this horse was our season champion at 159 and 4, and earlier this year he took his record of 54 and 4 at the Meadowlands. The winner of more than $31,000 this year, the winner of our Alexander Memorial last Saturday. For Albert Goodines, Auto Spring Farm, Brian Miles of Fredericton, Andrea Dolan of Riverview, EPR's leading driver Steve Mahar with number 5, King Tyler. Next we go to the St. John Hope, the only St. John horse in our field, a winner in 157 and 2 last year at Moncton, a winner in 57 and 4 in Gold Cup Trial 2 at Charlottetown, his best to date on a half-mile track. He's owned by Fairhoff Investments of St. John. Give a cheer, if you will, for Jill Berrio and On Broadway. Now, another horse from our provincial capital. 19 times, first, second, or third in 22 starts this year. A winner in 156 and 4 earlier this year over the 5/8 mile track at New Brunswick Downs. 2 weeks ago, he thrilled them all at Charlottetown, winning their prestigious Gold Cup and Saucer, winning that in 158. For Joan, at Ashley Sloat of Fredericton, here's Mike Downey with number 7, Tiger Blaze. And rounding out our select field tonight, a Moncton-owned pacer, sporting a record of 155 and 2. His best performance, though, this year was his second-place finish in the Monctonian, the mile that went in 54 and 3. For John McLean, here's a former EPR driving champion, Marcel Barrio, back home to parade number 8. Mark, be quick. And there, ladies and gentlemen, the starters for Provincial Cup 13. You have 9 minutes for wagering. 9 minutes for wagering. And we're all set now for the Provincial Cup 13. The purse $25,000. Brett's Caliber with Jody Hennessy. Line 1, Callie Rankin. Bob Rickles, Mike McDonald, Shirley Sham, Paul McDonald. King Tyler and Steve Mahar. On Broadway with Jill Berrio. Tiger Bird, Mike Downey, Mark Be Quick with Marcel Barrio. Here they come. Clear off Brett's Caliber, pacing out on top of Paul Rickles, charging up on the outside. Line 1 drives to third, in on the rail. Shirley Sham racing fourth. King Tyler gets away fifth. Tiger Bird on Broadway. They go around the turn. Pacing on top of it is Brett's Caliber and Paul Rickles. Up on the outside, challenging second. Bob Rickles goes forward, he takes the lead. Brett's Caliber racing a second. Then line 1 is third. On Broadway Park goes to fourth. Shirley Sham fifth. Tiger Bird outside. King Tyler on Broadway Trail. They were by the quarter in 28 and 3. And around the top turn, pacing with the lead, it is a Bob Rickles. Bob Rickles and line 1, and that's Mark Be Quick. Park third on the outside. Line 1 is fourth. Heading through the stretch, coming to the half. Bob Rickles, Brett's Caliber, Mark Be Quick. Line 1 on the outside, following cover. Tiger Bird on Broadway follows cover. On the rail, Shirley Sham, King Tyler trails. Bob Rickles, the leader, by the half. 59 and 3, they're into the turn. Racing now for the 5/8 full. Bob Rickles well ahead. He's leading a length and a half. Bob Rickles, and then racing second, Brett's Caliber. On the outside, Mark Be Quick. Racing a 30s Park. Then on the rail, line 1, fourth. No room for him on Broadway. 3 wide, drives on. On Broadway goes to fifth, is going on. It is Bob Rickles, the leader, as they go by the 3/4 pole. 28-4, and Bob Rickles is turning it on. Bob Rickles opening up now, a lead at 4 lengths. Bob Rickles, Brett's Caliber racing is second. Strong on the outside, line 1, they head for home, and it's Bob Rickles. Here comes line 1, challenging up strong second. Bob Rickles, line 1 is coming on, but it's going to be Bob Rickles. He wins it. Line 1 gets second. That's
Edwards, Caliber, King Tyler, Tiger Bird, and Mark Be Quick. And the time for the mile, 58-1. And parading back now, the winner of Provincial Cup 13, number 3, Bomb Rickles, a bay horse, 6 years by No Nukes. Out of Inside Joke, she by Albatross, owned by the estate of George Henderson of Campbellville, Ontario, trained and driven by Mike McDonald. Bomb Rickles getting his 12th winning trip this year, winning Provincial Cup 13 in 1:58-1. Congratulations to trainer driver Mike McDonald and groom Joey Shea. 1:58-1. All set now for Provincial Cup 14, the purse $25,000. 8 starters behind the gate approaching top of the stretch. Manilow, Hanover, and Earl Smith. Sherwood Abe with Robert Laffin. Bomb Rickles, Mike McDonald. Big Bucks Bomber, Steve Mahar. Camembert, Bill Cass. Diplomat, Katie Russ Burgoyne. J.K. Beauty, Joe Smallwood. Big Gene, Dave Pinkney. Here they come. They're off. Bomb Rickles quick off the gate, grabs the top, and then Manilow Hanover racing second. Big Bucks Bomber outside, he's racing on third. Sherwood Abe gets away a fourth. Camembert racing a fifth. Diplomat Katie. They're by the eighth pole, and Bomb Rickles has opened up 3 lengths on him. Bomb Rickles. Then Manilow Hanover. Big Bucks Bomber on the rail now third. Sherwood Abe is a fourth. Camembert racing a fifth. Diplomat Katie, J.K. Beauty. Big Gene trails the field. Bomb Rickles the leader by the quarter 29. They're out of the top turn. Bomb Rickles a length and a half. Manilow Hanover racing a second. Then Big Bucks Bomber is third. Sherwood Abe out moving now a fourth. That is Camembert racing fifth. J.K. Beauty's on the move. Then Diplomat Katie and Big Gene trails, and through the stretch they come. They're racing to the half. Bomb Rickles, Manilow Hanover. Sherwood Abe up on the outside now second. Then on the rail, Big Bucks Bomber third. Camembert out moving a fourth. They were by the half in 59-1. Out of the turn now they drive to the 5/8. It is Bomb Rickles. He's on top by 2. Bomb Rickles. Manilow Hanover is second. Then Big Bucks Bomber. Sherwood Abe outside fourth. Camembert racing fifth. J.K. Beauty, Diplomat Katie, and Big Gene. It's on to the 3/4 pole. It is Bomb Rickles by 2.5. Manilow Hanover. Then Big Bucks Bomber way wide. Camembert racing on to fourth. 1:28-2 by the 3/4, and Bomb Rickles is moved out now by about 5 lengths. Bomb Rickles, 2 horses off stride. Camembert, J.K. Beauty at the head of the lane. It is Bomb Rickles all alone. Bomb Rickles charging up second. Here comes Big Bucks Bomber coming on. Bomb Rickles, Big Bucks Bomber coming to him, but Bomb Rickles wins Provincial Cup 14. Big Bucks Bomber, Diplomat Katie, Big Gene, Manilow Hanover, Sherwood Abe. Still to come, Camembert and J.K. Beauty. Time for the mile, 1:57-2. The inquiry sign is posted. Entering victory lane now to greet the winner of Provincial Cup 14, we have the Honorable Shirley Dysart, representing Premier Frank McKenna tonight. Along with Charles Swanton, the president of the Atlantic National Exhibition Association, and Mr. Willard Jenkins, the vice president of the ANE and the director of racing, greeting Bomb Rickles. Winner of Provincial Cup 14, winner of Provincial Cup 13. Bomb Rickles, owned by Milne Henderson of Sainville, Quebec, trained and driven by Charlottetown's Mike McDonald. Bomb Rickles with our fastest mile of the season, 1:57-2.
Fox Bomber way wide, Camembert racing on to... At Marcel Barrio hold our track record of 157 with Southern Governor and Angel Shadow. This is a Cup record, 157-2, fastest mile ever for Provincial Cup.
Mike McDonald, Burnin', Brian Moore, Not Enough Funds with Mark McDonald, Bob's Bunny, Steve Mason, Musco Chip with Greg Monroe, and Comedy Hour, Gilles Barrio. 8 starters for Provincial Cup 20. Here they come. They're off, busting off the starting gate. Comedy Hour basing for the early lead. Sandy Hanover's there, and so is Den Master, but Comedy Hour gets the front easy into the first turn. He's your leader heading to the 8th. On the outside, second is Sandy Hanover. Den Master on the rail, third. Jagged Storm, fourth. Outside fifth is Burnin', then Not Enough Funds, Bob's Bunny. The trailer is Musco Chip. They head to the opening quarter. Comedy Hour sets the stage. Sandy Hanover sits in second, opening quarter in 28-1. Around the turn, they head to the 3/8 Comedy Hour on top. Sandy Hanover in second. Den Master has third. On the rail, fourth is Jagged Storm. Outside fifth, Park. Burnin', Bob's Bunny on the move with cover sixth. Then it is Not Enough Funds and Musco Chip trails. We've got movement on the outside as they approach the half. Comedy Hour leads the pack at the half, and here comes Den Master, the 3-year-old out to challenge. The half in 58-2, driving into the turn. Comedy Hour, Den Master on the outside. On the rail, third is Sandy Hanover. Racing fourth, Jagged Storm. Burnin' has been parked. He comes to fourth on the outside. Jagged Storm fifth. Bob's Bunny tips out 3 wide from sixth. Then Not Enough Funds and Musco Chip. They drive to the 3/4. Comedy Hour, 3 parts of a length. Outside is Den Master. Sandy Hanover third. Into the turn, the 3/4. 127-3, and Comedy Hour turns it on, and he opens up 2 lengths on the field. Den Master second. Sandy Hanover is racing third. Gilles Barrio has 3 lengths on the field as they drive for home. Comedy Hour is moving away. Den Master second. Sandy Hanover third. Comedy Hour wins Provincial Cup 20. Den Master second, Sandy Hanover, Musco Chip fourth, Not Enough Funds, Burnin', followed by Jagged Storm and Bob's Bunny. Time of the mile, 1:56-2. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice warm round of applause to the champion of the 20th running of the Provincial Cup. St. John's Gilles Barrio ties the reins on number 8, Comedy Hour. Comedy Hour is a bay gelding, 6 years by No Nukes out of Belly Laugh, she by Niatros. Owned and trained by David Bishop of East Riverside. Gilles Barrio drives. Comedy Hour out for just his 11th start of the season. Posts his 6th victory, his 5th win in a row here tonight at Exhibition Park. This horse over the past 5 starts has been literally unbeatable, and we saw that here tonight. We are pleased to have with us in the winner's circle for the presentations of the Provincial Cup and the colored cooler on behalf of the province of New Brunswick, the sponsor of this 9th race, St. John MLA, and Minister of Advanced Education and Labor, Mr. Rolly McIntyre, in the winner's circle now. Once again, folks, we congratulate tonight Comedy Hour, pacing his last half this evening in 58 seconds, last quarter in 28-4. Congratulations to Comedy Hour. His owner, trainer, David Bishop of East Riverside, and Gilles Barrio, the driver, capturing Provincial Cup 20 here tonight at EPR in 1:56-2. Comedy Hour wins our Provincial Cup.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with the post parade for this year's Provincial Cup Final, a purse of $58,200. And they're parading under the spotlight here with about 12 minutes to post time. There's a look at our first entry. It's Raleigh Fingers, Bill Sharp Jr. from Ontario, does the training and driving. This one's owned by the Solitude Stable of Woodbridge, Ontario. Comes into the race having won his elimination last week in 156-1. And he was an elimination winner at Truro in their Exhibition Cup in track record time 154-3. Number 1, Raleigh Fingers, and driver Bill Sharp Jr. Here's a look at number 2, El Perfecto, owned by TAP Equities of Truro, Nova Scotia. Brad Jones trains. And one of the Maritime's best, Gilles Barrio, will handle this one, coming off a second-place finish in his trial to Ad Exotic. And this is a 5-time winner this season, a mark of 55-1 with 66,000 plus in the bank. Number 2, El Perfecto, and Gilles Barrio. Number 3, Magic Shoes, shipped in from the Hippodrome de Montreal for the elimination last week here at Exhibition Park Raceway. A strong second-place finish behind Raleigh Fingers. 6-year-old gelding by Beach Towel, owned by Pamela Crost, Campbellville, Ontario. Colin Johnson trains, and the driver, Denny St. Pierre. A 10-time winner in 29 starts this season and a mark of 153, number 3, Magic Shoes, and the driver, Denny St. Pierre. Just stepping onto the track, number 4, Order to Go. Winner of this year's $59,500 Gold Cup and Saucer Final in Charlottetown. He was a third-place finisher in the Exhibition Cup at Truro Raceway, second leg of the Big 3 Series. And he finished fourth, the fourth and final qualifying spot in his elimination for the Provincial Cup last week, charted in 157. 5-time winner, a record of 152 this season, and $100,000+ in the bank. 4-year-old son of Dexter Nukes, owned by James Smith of Puselinch, Ontario. Ian Reed trains, and Kenny Arsenault, Charlottetown native, will catch drive tonight. Number 4, Order to Go. Introducing next the hottest horse coming into the Provincial Cup Final. It's number 5, Ad Exotic, a 7-year-old son of Nuclear Weapon from the General Star mare Midi Lobel, owned by Marcel Guy Ouimet of Laval, Quebec. And Charlottetown native Mike McDonald does the training and driving on this one. Ad Exotic riding a 4-race win streak into this final. The winner of the Exhibition Cup at Truro Raceway, a winner in his elimination last week, 156-2, number 5, Ad Exotic, and driver Mike McDonald. From post 6, another Maritime hopeful, Ontario-bred Run the Hub, a 4-year-old chestnut son of Run the Table from the frugal gourmet dam Shameful Prude. Mark Webby trains and drives this one for Wayne Webby of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Last year, scored 8 wins and 23 starts at a mark of 153-1, while earning just shy of $60,000. He's 2 for 12 this year, coming off a strong third-place finish in his elimination last week. Number 6, Run the Hub, to be handled tonight by Mark Webby. And completing the field in the Provincial Cup, number 7, Euripides, 6-year-old bay gelding by Chameleon from the Rennie's Boy Dam, Brianna. The owner is Jack McNeil of Sydney, Nova Scotia. Lynn Privet trains, Gary McDonald driving. A 7-time winner from 25 starts this year. And he notched the 4th and final qualifying spot in his elimination last week. He'll have the outside post tonight, post 7 to number 7, Euripides, and the driver, Gary McDonald. And that is the field for this year's Provincial Cup Final. Purse $58,200. Less than 8 minutes to post time. Good luck.
The starters for the 12th race, Provincial Cup 22. Behind the gate, approaching top of the stretch from Ontario, Raleigh Fingers and Bill Sharp Jr. From Nova Scotia, El Perfecto and Gilles Barrio. From Ontario, Magic Shoes and Denny St. Pierre. From Ontario, Order to Go and Kenny Arsenault. From Quebec, Ad Exotic and Mike McDonald. From Nova Scotia, Run the Hub with Mark Webby and Nova Scotia Euripides and Gary McDonald, and here they come. They're off busting out of there. It is Magic Shoes taking the top and Rolly Fingers. Adam on the inside, they're neck at neck. Round the turn inside, Rolly Fingers outside. Magic Shoes and El Perfecto right with the leader. He is racing a third as they swing up the backstretch on to the quarter. Then we go back to Order to Go. He's racing fourth. Euripides on the outside is the fifth. That Exotic and Run the Hub trailing as they go racing by the quarter. 27-1. They drive into the top turn. That's Rolly Fingers. He is cutting it out. Up along the inside now. El Perfecto comes to second on the outside. Magic Shoes is getting parked. He hangs third. Order to Go is the fourth. They swing through the stretch onto the half up front. Rolly Fingers, El Perfecto second. On the outside, Magic Shoes hangs third on the inside. It is Order to Go on the outside. Ad Exotic, that half, 156 and 3. Then Euripides and Run the Hub as they swing around the turn and race to the 5/8 pole. Pacing with the lead. It is Rolly Fingers. He has the best of it by a length to say goodbye the 8th. Then racing a second, El Perfecto. Rolly Fingers steps out now. He's out in front now by 2.5 and going on. Then El Perfecto. Order to Go is driving up third on the outside. Ad Exotic is now fourth. 125 and 3 by the 3/4 pole around the top turn. It is Rolly Fingers driving hard. Second comes Order to Go. El Perfecto hanging third. Ad Exotic racing fourth. We are swinging for home and pacing on top. Rolly Fingers. Order to Go is coming to him. It's Rolly Fingers inside. Order to Go outside at the line. Looks like Rolly Fingers too tight to call. Order to Go. Then Ad Exotic, El Perfecto, Euripides, Run the Hub, and Magic Shoes. Time for the mile, 1:54 and 4. Judges have called for a photo for Win. Win photo between Rolly Fingers and Order to Go.
He's been down here. I'm just amazed. He just gets better every week.
And turning for home, you had a bit of a jump on the field, but here was Kenny coming hard with Order to Go. I mean, your thoughts coming to the wire?
Well, I just wanted to get there, and it didn't come soon enough for me.
Congratulations, Bill Sharp. It's been a pleasure to have you here in Atlantic, Canada, and we hope we see you back maybe next year.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. I'm just going to drop back here and grab the other half of that dead heat victory. Kenny Arsenault, not a bad catch drive. What were your thoughts coming to the wire? You knew it was going to be close.
Yeah, it was. Like I couldn't find the wire. It was like it's hard to tell the wires here in St. John compared to home in Sherrilltown, but I'll tell you, I was very glad I got to it.
And obviously a big thrill for you. When did you find out you were going to be driving this horse?
John Holmes had mentioned to me all home week. You know, he wasn't quite sure if this Provincial Cup was going to be on a Friday or a Saturday, but he said if it was on a Saturday, would I drive? And I didn't turn down the opportunity.
All right, Kenny, congratulations. We're going to get to the winner's circle presentation. Just a final thought, Kenny. Where does this rate as far as career highlights?
Well, it's my fastest. I have to say, that's my fastest winning drive. And it was quite an honor to drive this horse, I'll tell you that.
All right, congratulations. We're going to turn to trackside now for the winner's circle presentation. Here's Ingham Palmer.
Winner's circle presentation. I'm sure that Mr. Burt McQuaid from the Atlantic Lottery Corporation, with all his money, will now be able to easily dip into his pocket and buy another cooler. Memory serves me right. That's the first time we've had a dead heat in our 22 Provincial Cups. Congratulations going out to Bill Sharp Jr. and Raleigh Fingers, and to Order to Go and Kenny Arsenault. And the result of the 12th race now official. Raleigh Fingers, dead heating for first. El Perfecto was fourth. Magic Shoes, seventh. Order to Go, dead heating for first. Ad Exotic was third. Run the Hub, sixth. Euripides was fifth, and Corey's Big Guy was scratched. And your race times: the quarter 27 and 1, the half 56 and 3, 3/4 125 and 3, the mile in 154 and 4, 1/5 of a second away from our track record of 154 and 3, held by Sandy Hanover and Mike McDonald, and equaled last year by Woodmere Topcat and Todd Trites. Your card then should read from the top down: 1, 4, 7, 1, 3, 6, 5, scratched, the mile in 154 and 4.